All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 58 of the Get Down. My name's Cream.
Gary W here, and this is a very special episode. It's going to be very funny.
Yeah, we are live from Disney at the moment, pre-dinner. We had a big day at the park.
Well, we kind of only went to one place in Hollywood. So we went to Star Wars Land, I guess, as the layman person would call it, and that was a fun time. We did literally everything, which was awesome. And now we had a pretty good experience, which I'll let Kareem touch upon in a second. But now we're back at the Polynesian, staying here for the evening on the monorail. And we're gonna have dinner over at Contemporary. So really, really excited about it. But let's talk about something that we're very familiar with, and that's hospitality. So Kareem, go ahead and let the people know.
Yeah, so we had some ideas for this episode. We always generally talk about a few ideas we want to talk about, and then anything that's pressing that happens, we kind of will work it into the show. Today, we experienced something where like we have to talk about this because the hospitality was so incredible and super on point that we had to bring it up. So we are in Hollywood Studios. We're at the Disney or the Star Wars World, and we were waiting to try and get into one of the bars, which is super cool, super unique. It's totally Star Wars themed, and we were waiting online, literally trying to refresh to make a reservation. And we ended up just kind of walking up, and Gary happened to see someone that he knew from hanging out here, one of the bartenders, right?
Yeah, so we saw the bartender was hanging out outside, and then it just so happened that one of the higher ups of that bar was standing right there, and noticed that we were trying to get his attention. We did not, unfortunately, and he walked back in, and then they just asked us, how many people you got? We're gonna make it work for you guys. And it was just kind of like something that's not really seen, especially down here where everything is so reservation driven. And I feel like wherever you go, especially even if you're in the Northeast, kind of where we're from, there are places that are reservation driven because, there are places that are very popular. But it's important to know that, you could still walk up and schmooze people and just kind of make your presence known. And there are still really good managers and owners out there that will make things work for you. I've had similar experiences at places like, what's that wine? Is it Bin 14? That wine place?
Yeah, Bin 14
in Hoboken. Fantastic. Like that place is notoriously packed. At least it was, pre-pandemic when I lived up there. And I've had similar experiences like, oh, we're going to fit you in somewhere, even if it's just at the bar, and I feel, and we talked about an experience that we had at the pizza place uptown. I forget the name of it.
10th Street Pizza and Pasta.
Yeah, fantastic. Like, and it's just I like to highlight the places that do things like that because you know what, it's not few and far between as much as people think that it might be. There are still good managers and there's still good owners out there that will go above and beyond to take care of their customers, and to highlight those people is important.
The other thing, something we always kind of talk about, but the reason why we got in is because we knew a bartender who worked there who happened to work at another resort that was not as busy as the Star Wars area, and you became friends, and I used to go to his bar and hang out and spend money. And now when we were at a place where you can't get reservations, we were able to get in. So it's like the same principles, no matter if it's DJing, bartending, serving, nightlife, whatever it is, like they just work,
If there's a place that you really enjoy going to and you're going to frequent, even if it's like your first time there, I think it's important to establish a rapport with the people that work there. Just in like, okay, in some foresight, I'm going to be here a couple times. Let me learn your name. Just call the guy by his name or the woman by their name and have like a good exchange with them. And then whether it turn into a friendship, like literally as I'm sitting here recording, I just smiled because Bruce texted me. It popped up on my screen. The guy that the bartender that we know, he just texted me. So like whether it becomes like a friendship or whatever it might be, or you just know him or her from walking into that establishment, you don't know where those relationships could lead.
Yeah.
Professionally, personally, whatever it might be. So So anyway, let's talk about, so speaking of like relationships and establishing relationships with people like you might not know from your local community. Let's talk about having DJs in from other places, because you just had Rivas in. I'm so upset that I missed it. It looked like a great time. I think he said, quote unquote, "I'm moving to Jersey." I don't know if that's true. But let's talk about your experience with that. I know that it's very difficult to host. It's exhausting. You always have a lot of moving parts, especially when you're booking 50 plus gigs in a weekend and then also hosting somebody. So talk about your, what had gone down this weekend.
Yeah, we had a great time. It was a great weekend. I was saying to him, like, your lineup for the weekend is as good as it can get pretty much for like North Jersey based bookings. So we came in, we went to dinner on Thursday. We had a great dinner. Me and Angelo and UFOso and Rivas had dinner, kind of talked about what to expect for the week. Just, we never actually met in person. So it was great to meet in person and just kind of get to know each other a little bit in that way. But yeah, man, like as soon as he played for 30 minutes on Thursday, I'm like, this is going to be a great weekend. There's going to be no issues. I don't have to worry about a thing. He just gets it. Played a great set at Tally Ho. A lot of the guys came out. A lot of the regulars were out and got to meet Rivas. And yeah, like the whole weekend Ashford it was a slower night at Ashford, but it was still a great time.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird. I don't really know why, but it was kind of slow everywhere on Friday in the Hoboken, Jersey City area.
See, what's happening right now, I feel like in that market is something that had happened pre-pandemic, where Fridays were somewhat slower than Saturdays, and then Saturdays like all day and Sunday. Well, this happens during football season. And don't, everybody out there that's listening, if you're a DJ that DJs on a Friday, don't get in the North Jersey, New York City market, don't get discouraged during football season, because people work all week long. And then Friday is going to be their off night. And then they're going to go hard Saturday brunch, Saturday night, and then Sunday all day for football. And then they got to kind of recover and then bounce back for work again on Monday. So Friday's kind of like that off night. So if you're, especially if you're a young DJ that's not used to kind of a football season format, this is kind of how it goes. It's slower Friday and then picks up Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. Someone else also said to me, oh, well, it's the first of the month, so everyone paid their rent. It's going to be slower tonight. And in all my years of working, I've really never thought of that, but I guess that's a thing. I don't know. Is that a thing?
I mean, I guess it's a thing.
I'm looking to my left because just to give you guys I'm on the inside. Your friends hanging out. Harry's hanging out on the balcony out here.
We're doing it. We have a little bit of delay, which is kind of funny because we're only about 8.5 feet apart. But yeah, I don't know. I've never even heard that as an explanation as to why things would be slow. Where
that was the first time I've ever heard of it. Also, but maybe.
Who knows? I mean, right? We always say everybody's situation is different. So
yeah, but like I think what you said is more of what it is, where I think there's just been a shift in when people like to go out. I think the pandemic kind of helped that because a lot of people were doing brunch and daytime stuff. And I think that's just carried over. And the first 8 weeks of football are going to be like this. Then that's going to slow down a little bit on Sundays, and the Fridays will probably pick up a little more. And then once the playoffs hit, it'll kind of go back to Saturdays and Sundays being the busier time, right?
Yeah. Well, you have to remember too, right now, up, especially in the markets that get cold, everybody's taking advantage of the brunch outside if they can, brunch outside on a Sunday if they can. Friday's like, all right, I got out of work at 6. I'm going to chill out, whatever it is, what it is. It's kind of a lost night. It's not a social night, So I just pointed that out as like a coach up to the younger guys that, don't get discouraged, especially to our guys too. Don't get discouraged when you have a Friday gig that's slower. Cause I see it on the group chat where, I'm hanging out at home on a Friday down here in Florida. You guys were all busting your ass up there. And it's like, oh, well, it sucks right now. And then it doesn't pick up till 12 in some instances.
Yeah, it's like an 11:30 hit usually on a Friday if it's slower.
Right. So, you still kind of have to play your night correctly from the get-go, even just going into it, especially on Friday, knowing that it's going to be slow, and just a little takeaway. So,
yeah. So I know we're doing this randomly in a random place, so I don't know if our audio is cutting out. If it is, sorry guys, but we're trying to squeeze in a pod this week. I know we missed last week, so um, but yeah, so going back to like what you brought up with bringing DJs in. So yeah, we did the whole thing with Rivas. Saturday he got to play Birch. I caught the very tail end of their set with Hova, and then Sunday he got to come in and play Wolf like prime time, which was pretty awesome. But
What?
I think the real thing is like gig swapping, right? Now I wanted to talk about this because of the whole gig swapping, like quote unquote. And I think the minute you talk to somebody about bringing a person in or going to play someone else's market, you know whether it's coming from like the right place or the wrong place. Because to me, if someone's like, oh well, I'll bring you down, but then you have to bring me up, or if you bring me up, like, to me, it's not about that really. It's more about bringing in someone who I think is a dope DJ who I want to work with,
Right.
and having them rock out. And then if at some point I then get there, that's amazing. But like, I don't expect that to happen. I
We've
don't know.
talked we've talked about expectation in the past, right? Where whenever you give something and then expect something back, there's no positive, not that there's no positive, but there's less positive that will come of that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're doing something like out of the goodness of your heart, for lack of a better term, like, I think you're a dope DJ, I'm going to bring you down, I think you're going to rock these rooms, it's going to be fun, I'm going to get to know you, you seem like a good person, we've talked on the, we've Zoomed, or you've been on my podcast, or whatever it might be, and you just feel like that it fits, then you just go ahead and do it. It's this good gut feeling, right?
Yeah.
When you're bringing somebody out with the expectation that I'm going to then go play those dope spots that you're playing, that's just the wrong way to go about business, I feel. And I feel like that's where people fail, where there's that expectation of return. Like, it's not the right way to go about it. And that's obviously what we've built our business on, where you just surround yourself with people that are like-minded, that have the same, aspirations, goals, and that you think highly of. And I think that the positivity kind of just comes around, not to get all like hippie on you, but like, I think that is what it is, right? Like, like you said, like, Rivas is dope. His production's great. All of our guys play his music. We've had him on the podcast, down to earth dude, really, really cool. We know he can rock a room, and then he comes and he just kind of like fits the mold. Like, it just makes sense,
Yeah, he got to meet a ton of the guys. He got to check out a lot of the spots that we play or we will hang out at or work at. So yeah, I think it was just seamless weekend. It just worked. He played the rooms exactly how they should be played. Like, he played a remix of the Big Bad Wolf, like an old 8-track track at Wicked Wolf, and Slav came like running over, like, what is this? How come you idiots haven't played this before? Like, what's going on? How come the guy from Boston's playing the Big Bad Wolf at Wolf?
That's doing your homework, and that's why we felt comfortable bringing him down and having it be just like a very simple thing, like just simple as in the bookings, not as much the entertaining part. The entertainment part is part of it. Like, when you got to go out and be on top.
Yeah, like, we stayed out late. We drank a lot this weekend. It was a long, aggressive weekend. And I think that's just part of hosting and having a lot of DJs and friends and promoters around, right?
I mean, you showed up for a mini vacation this week and didn't have a drink yesterday, so I knew that it had to be some aggressive stuff that went down.
Listen, you guys know my Mondays. Like, everybody knows if I don't answer you on Monday, we all know why. Just leave me alone. I'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Yeah, I feel like it leaked over into Tuesday to this week. But
I think one other thing that I think about when it's taken us 10 years or 12 years to be able to start doing stuff like this, where we have enough booking power and we are doing enough stuff in our market where we have the ability to bring these people in. And I think it's a good thing for everybody, right? It's a good thing for customers who may not have never heard this person, and maybe they're like, wow, this DJ was amazing. Who is this? And then the next time they're in the other person's market, they go there or they follow them on SoundCloud or whatever it is. Right. It's a great thing for managers and owners, because you're bringing in a a name from out of town, and you could promote it as, hey, this is Rivas from Boston. He plays all the big
Right.
spots in Boston. He's coming down for a special guest set. I think it's great for all of our DJs to network with someone whose music they've been playing forever for the last 3, 4, 5 years.
Right.
And just then be able to network with someone from another market, because who knows? You never know if Hova, who just played open for Rivas on Saturday, is in Boston and hits up Rivas like, yo, I'm in town. What are you doing? And they hang out all weekend, or he DJs or whatever. He doesn't even have to DJ, but it's just like you have a connection now in another market that opens up doors. And it's just good, to know people in different areas.
Something else that's really overlooked by venues is that, like, Rivas is going to put your venue's name on his social media, and now your venue's name is blasted all over his market,
right?
Up in New England, right? So those people come down here to vacation or whatever it might be down in New York, and they're going to be like, oh, let me check out what Birch looks like today. And Wicked Wolf Sundays looked dope when Rivas was there. Let me go check that out.
Right.
And that's, that's over that. I feel like that's overlooked, where they're like, well, what's this guy doing for me? Well, he's opening up doors in a whole new market where you can have a whole new audience.
Yeah.
So just kind of,
I think it's cool. I think it's cool to have the ability to bring in Rivas, and we have Danny and Spindiana Jones coming in next month, right? November.
Wow. When's he going in?
I think the second week in November. So they're going to come up together.
Okay.
Spindiana's another Club Killers guy. Danny's been up and has rocked this market, I think, twice now.
Yeah.
But again, just good dudes, guys we hung out in Miami with, guys we've DJ'd with, like people we want to just hang out with. And that's the people that we want to book, right? We have Soto coming up from Charleston after that. So we're lucky to be able to now just bring in these dope DJs.
Yeah, guys, if you want to listen to any of these DJs just to kind of get a taste of what they sound like, Get Down Radio, we featured actually all of these guys. So you could go and check out Rivas. His mix just came out like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. We lined it up with his trip. Danny's got one out. Spindiana's got one out for Memorial Day, which is dope. Go check that out. And then this way, if you kind of like their vibes, you can go check them out when they travel up or down, wherever they're from.
Yeah.
So.
And honestly, like, just to kind of pull the curtain back on from our end, right? Like what we always used to talk about was you want to have as many coals in the fire, right? That you could possibly have, whether it's going to meet managers or going to talk to other DJs or whatever it is. We're now at the point where we have coals in the fire in all these different markets. Okay. And what do we got? 5 minutes?
we're on like a timer today.
But yeah, no, we have all these, now we're able to have coals in the fire in all these different markets, so that it's kind of like next level now for us, which is awesome. Right. And again, like it's all about just working with the right people and bringing in people that you want to work with. And that's it.
The nice part for us, I feel like, is that like I don't ever have to go DJ up in Boston. Would I like to go DJ out in Tampa? Yeah, it's an hour from my house. So yes, that's a different market and a different conversation. But like I don't ever have to go to Boston. I don't feel like that's a need for me, right? Like, but I'm happy to open doors up for our.
Well, yeah, of course.
And that's, I feel like, in my career, that's the fun part. That's the part that gets me excited.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that's we always talk about how that's what kind of like pushes us to keep going, right? A little bit, where it's like our careers we've had long careers and we're kind of like playing them out here. Like, who knows? There could be more bigger stuff that happens, but like if it doesn't, it's okay, because we have all these other guys that matter, that we want to help grow.
Sure. Definitely.
So
definitely agree.
All right. So since we are on a quick countdown, one other really quick thing that I want to bring up. So the last episode we talked about the wedding that I had that I was hating on or whatever. I'm not even going to get into it, but I turned around to our boy Danny Deluxe and I was like, man, do you think Pepas is going to go off at this wedding? he's like, I don't know, man. I'm not sure. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. Like, fuck it. Let's just see what happens. Like, it's a big song. It's going to go off. Literally, like, the biggest reaction of the entire night is Pep Us, which now leads me to believe that, like, the song's about to be dead because it's
Right.
now, you know, like
It's-
150, like, different aged white people at this wedding are now on Pep Us, and it's just like a wrap. Sorry, guys.
Oh
Like,
man,
it's just true. It's over.
it is. It's when then right. It's like sorry to the mobile guys, but like when it gets passed on to the wedding,
Yeah, it's a wrap.
I know. There's a lot of pushback with that. There's a lot of like, no, weddings are like the club, but like, when grandma's dancing to it, we know kind of where it's going.
It was definitely a younger
By way of
crowd,
the
but like
club.
it was funny. It was like interesting, really opened my eyes, like, wow, all right. That's the biggest reaction we got the entire night.
But we were saying like there's still places that like don't want you to play that, and that's ridiculous. But that's just not knowing. That's not knowing the. That's just not knowing. Period.
Yeah,
It's like,
no idea about the music.
not specific to anything. It's just not knowing. Period.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's where you hope that the venues that you work for kind of do their homework a little more. That are cognizant to, okay, these are the top 5 biggest songs. I don't care if that's not the direction that we want to go in. We have to play those 5 songs. I feel like that's really important to.
What do we have? 5 minutes, roughly. All right. All right. So let's wrap with this. So we're down in Florida together. We're leaving Thursday. We're both coming back to Jersey. Where are you going to be this weekend? Where can people come see you?
All right. I'll be at Latin Night, 626 on Thursday. That's always a good time. Bartenders are always fantastic. Management's great. That's a lot of energy in that room. Friday, I am at the Ashford upstairs in Jersey City as well. Back at 626 for drag brunch on Saturday. We start at 1:00. That goes to around 5. I'm not sure who's on. Saturday night, really, really excited to be playing with DJ Cream. That's going to be a fun time. We have
yeah, I'm pumped for that. That's gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be awesome. Trizzo's opening up. One of our younger guys does a great job. And then Sunday I'm over at the Shep for football. I'll start at 1. If you don't know, now you know. It's the Giants versus the Cowboys. It's an away game, so you know we're gonna be packed. It's gonna be a great time.
Yeah, Sunday's gonna be a show on Sunday. Hoboken's gonna be a show on Sunday.
Wild. So looking forward to it. Where you at, Cream?
I have a lighter weekend. Thursday night, we're doing First Thursdays. So myself, UFOso, Angelo the Kid, all 3 of us are playing Tally Ho. We'll probably do a little like back-to-back every 30, 45 minutes, switch something like that. So that'll be fun. We haven't done that in a couple months because those guys have been really busy too. And I've been traveling a little bit. Friday, I'm at 626. Saturday, like you said, we're at Birch. And that's all I got this weekend.
Wow, nice.
I kept it pretty light. So I will be ready to rock my gigs. And I'm excited for you to be back up. We get like a whole week together here.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And now we're gonna go have pre-dinner drinks and go to dinner.
Let's rock.
All right, guys. Short episode, weird, audio. Who knows if it actually sounds good or not, but I hope it did. Thank you guys for listening. My name's Cream.
Gary W.
Peace.
Peace from the Polynesian.